Hey guys, this is the recording for Metabolism 2.7. So this is the last lesson of chapter 2 for Metabolism. And so we're kind of wrapping up some of our ideas. And what we're going to kind of do is analyze and interpret some data about Elisa's body. We're going to get some test results and kind of try to see if we can pinpoint what her condition is out of our 4 medical conditions that we've been studying. The first thing that you are going to do is there is a warm up in Canvas. And so you're going to want to click on that warm up, and it's kind of a good intro into what we're doing and kind of getting our minds working and figuring out what Elisa is going through. And so there is a little message below from our kind of doctor who is heading up this kind of investigation for us. And you can see we have our 4 possible claims right here. So we are investigating which one of these we think she has. And by the end of today's lesson, you should have been able to pinpoint which one it is. So the warm-up has you picking which condition you're investigating and which body system that condition affects, and then which condition, which molecule is affected by your condition. And a little pause, so I'm going to go back. I ended up giving the last of the Cornell notes when we started this lesson, and those kind of helped work through the lesson. So let me share those now. All right, so the Cornell notes. Oops. Scroll down a little bit. So we wrapped up the chapter 2 Cornell notes, and it's trying to connect, mad at me. But I wanted to at least show all of them in case you, for some reason, it keeps taking me back to the first one. For some reason, if you did not get all of them, so this is the top. We ended up adding the purple, so these 2 are the new part that we added on Monday. And so these 2 kind of go over each condition and what they affect. And so I will leave that. Remember, you can pause the video at any time to get whichever ones you did not get. So I'm going to kind of slowly scroll through, especially since this is the last lesson of chapter 2, in case you are missing any of these notes. All right. So those are all the chapter 2 Cornell notes. So hopefully you got those. Going back to our home page, we did 3 pages in our notebook, so 27, 28, and 29. And you can see I put a note here, you're taking the chapter 2 quiz on Wednesday, and you're going to turn in your notebook. So going back to our notebook, let's see, scroll. By the end of this lesson today, all of the pages of the notebook should be done. And so my thing is moving slower than slow. Starting with slide 26, it kind of is a planning page, which means it's kind of taking all the different things that we have been doing and putting it into one place, kind of like a brainstorm. So what we did was we went in different breakout rooms and kind of talked about each one of these. And actually, I'm going to project and see, hopefully this might take an hour. And man, internet is not working good today. And so each group was in a breakout room, and I did it randomly, so that hopefully meant that each group had at least one person representing each condition out of our four, so our asthma, anemia, injury to the pancreas, and diabetes. And that way they could all kind of help each other fill this out. And then we kind of talked about it together. And so, oops, go back one. There we go, finally. So this is what we came up with when we worked as a group. And so all these different colors of writing is what we ended up putting in there. And it's kind of just getting the basics of each one. Which molecule is affected? What does the condition do? And then what you expect to see in test results. And that's the key word, test results. Because the next slide, we actually get to see Elisa's test results. And so the point of this planning page is to get our mind working to think, oh, okay, if someone has diabetes, we see that they're going to have low glucose because the glucose is not going into the cells. That's part of the condition. And so on the next slide, this is very similar to that chart that I gave you. Oop, my mouse went away. And so this chart has each of the conditions and then the healthy body comparing. And like I said, very similar to what I gave you last week. And then here are Elisa's test results. So you need to compare hers to each one of these. The healthy body, which we know she doesn't really have, and then each of these diseases. And think about, okay, what is she missing? I see her glucose is really low. What condition is affecting glucose? And then you're going to make a little diagnosis down here. And then the last page is writing an argument. So you're going to down here write an argument to support which diagnosis you think that she has. So you're going to say, I think she is feeling tired because she has, and so you're going to use one of these claims up here, oops, one of these claims, and you're going to highlight it and then support it with evidence. I think she has anemia because her oxygen is really low. And when you have anemia, you feel tired because you're not getting enough iron in your blood, things like that. Okay? And then once you completed that, that is all you're doing for lesson 2.7. And make sure that your notebook is completely done, because the next time I see you, I will ask you to turn in this chapter 2 notebook and I will give you a little quiz.